Welcome to episode 6, everybody. I'm real excited about this episode. We're gonna get the shoulders actually mounted on the robot, and by the end of the episode we're gonna get to see the robot move on its own just a little bit, but it's a start and I'm real excited, so let's get to it. Alright, get these holes drilled out. I have to take a file to the inside. I can't get to that deal as easily. And 2. I welded these nuts right here on the end just to keep them from spinning down in the pipe so I don't have to reach in there and hold it. Seems to be working for the other one. There it is, hanging off of there. And then the other one for, well, that side's already down in there. Just better look at it there. Gotta clean these holes up, they're ugly. Didn't really know where I was gonna be at first. Now we'll tighten those down. Just like my specialty tools. Gotta keep these specialty tools going. And there that is. Time to put the front plate and back plate on it. And we're gonna line up those name pins for this knuckle here. I'll get these front and back plates on here. Just put one 3/8 nut on the top and bottom just to pin it in place. Back plate. Now remember, we've got that inner bearing that we mounted inside that inside the spine. It's going to hold this axle in place. Like so. Now, because we know that other end of the CV axle can't move, it's locked in place. When we turn this, it gives us an exact pinpoint on the caliper knuckle bracket that we made earlier. And so I'm going to make that point in here right now on both sides, and then we'll just barely tack the little ears on it that are going to hold it in place, and then we'll test it, make sure nothing binds and everything's smooth, and we'll tack it a little more slowly and build it up so nothing warps or moves. So I tried a handful of different things to get these pins lined up perfectly straight with each other on either side of the bracket, and guess we're just going to have to stick to one of the ant dog scientific methods. Some of this V channel, it actually has a V shaped in here. It's hard to see on the camera, but it does actually hold those in there pretty good. All the things I tried, this silliness here seemed to get the job done the best. So I'm going to clamp this all down. And we'll go ahead and line it up to the bracket on either side. We'll hold the whole thing over the top of it and tack weld it on there and see how it goes. We'll obviously try it because, you know, the scientific method. Alright, no laughing. I'm going to put the scientific method on here. We're going to need a little weight. I'm going to clamp it with a bar clamp on the tubes this way and zap it in place. See how it goes. Got those pins welded on there, enough to give it a try. So let's go ahead and assemble it for the first time with the pins on there and see if it works or if it binds and how it looks. Alright. And then start with front plate. Now the real test. Aha, feels very nice. And there. Cool. Gonna check that out a little better. There's the CV axle coming through. So I'll be having a lever on here that goes up and down, a shaft, and then we're gonna put a stepper motor there and here for the other side. Run up a shaft and we'll turn that. This action here, we're actually going to put a lever here. And then there'll be a stepper. I already tested the other side. See, here's the hole where I put the stepper, and then I had the lever going up, and it worked quite well. Pretty happy with it. So that's what's next here is we got to drill this hole. Aha! Not the prettiest hole, but it's a hole. Got this hunk of aluminum angle iron that already has the hole pattern for the stepper motor. So I clamped this to it. We're going to use it as a marker real quick. But anyways, that's our stepper pattern. Alright. Alright, with those holes drilled, I can mount the stepper motors. Here's one. These are more of the inexpensive, they're not real accurate, but shouldn't be an issue for what we're trying to do. But if so, I'll demote these to doing cosmetic movements in sequence, and I'll get the higher precision steppers. But these are NEMA 23 2.8 amp, and then these are 15-to-1 gearboxes. A little bit of slack in the gearbox, but considering the robot arm is always going to sit on one side of the slack because the weight's always going to be one way, we'll see how it goes. But it in testing was actually very good, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, mount the other one on. Here's the other one. Just the right and left side to lift the arm. And with that, we got left side and right side motors to lift the arms. There they are. NEMA 23s. Awesome. Now go ahead and put this on the spine. Alright. Everything lined up real good in testing. Let's see how it does for real. Alright. All right. Give you guys a better look. There's those NEMA 23s with the 15-in-1 gearbox. And then there'll be a lever arm right here, up and down, and then off of the armpit post here, or pole, axle, whatever you want to call it. This guy, there'll be another lever. So motor shaft, lever, lever, movement. And there we have, and then there was two. Other side. Let's take a look at this linkage for a second. I got these guys here. They're going to connect to the motor shaft. And I got these collars here that will connect to the axle that holds the shoulder in, so we can turn it. So now, here's one that I've already kind of put together. And so you got this guy up here that goes onto the shoulder axle, and we'll turn it, and then motor shaft. All this is just some flat bar. When I get the sizing and positioning correct, we'll get something a little bit more steampunk, like a piece of a gear or something cool, you know, to make up both of these components. But for now, I'm just trying to get the sizing right. So what I've done here is I've made it to where, okay, this is going to go on the motor. When this turns a whole half turn from top to bottom, it'll do just about a half a turn. I get 2.5 inches. If you measure this point and then spin it, and then this point. And so the distance between those two is about 2.5. And so that's, and I did the 2.5 because after experimenting with this bar coming off of the shoulder axle, when I move this up and down 2.5, I get about the pivot that I need. So all very experimental, but yeah, it's basically just this plate and this little hacked up plate. I got a couple of the little end eyelets. And so I'm going to go ahead and weld this together here. Give it a quick zap. And we'll go ahead and put it on the robot and try it out. Before we mount those linkage brackets, let me show you guys what I've done here. I mounted these switches, just a real basic, limit style switch, and yeah, that's basically all it is. But I mounted 2 of those on there, and what these are basically going to do is, as the linkage comes up, it'll hit the switch and it'll know where its endpoint is and be able to zero itself out on these 2 points. If it becomes not accurate enough or it's losing steps or something, I'll upgrade to some encoders, and we'll have to actually keep track of where the shaft is all the way around. But this is how a lot of machines are run, 3D printers, CNCs, a lot of them. And then we'll see how it goes. I have a feeling it'll be fine. But if we're losing steps or not accurate enough, we'll upgrade to encoders. But yeah, I just basically screwed these 2 on there. And then they're wired back to the Arduino. And these pins here, I got ground feeding both of them, and then the ground coming back, so basically it's a grounding loop. And as soon as one of those switches closes, it grounds a terminal on here, and the Arduino knows, oh, that switch just closed. Simple as that. Got the 2 stepper drivers running the steppers that we put on earlier. So those are wired in. And I want to show you guys that. Let's go ahead and put the linkage on. One more thing I wanted to show you guys is on the linkage here, the top of it, I put this little guy. What this is going to be is like a little cam that I can turn, and it'll change when those little limit switches get hit. So as I turn the cam back, the switch won't get hit as fast, and as I turn the cam forward. So it just gives me a way to adjust the switch position real easily. Just a little piece of metal I bent over, put in the hole there. But I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. And there we have it. Later on down the road, I'll get some pie-shaped sections of like a flex plate gear or something. I was thinking, imagine these being like a little piece of a broken gear or something that just kind of flung out there. Who knows, but this flat bar is getting the job done as far as getting all of our positioning done. So I'm real happy with it. Yeah, so there it is. There's those little contacts I was showing you guys. Hitting the switch there. And then you see, come on now, focus. Or not. There it is. Yeah, see the switch hitting the contact, and I can turn that up and down and it'll change when it depresses the switch. And just to give you guys a basic rundown, you know, the two separate motors are going to the drivers, and then the drivers are ran by the Arduino. Okay, and then what I'm doing with the Arduino is I experimented with a joystick. It was okay, but it just wasn't finite enough. Actually, I'm creating a touch for your, like a touchpad or a phone or whatever. It actually worked out better just having a whole display of buttons. And so we're going to have a display of buttons so you can control each actuator really finite all at the same time. I'll show you guys that here in a second. Forgive me guys for recording a screen, but I just wanted to show you really quickly what I meant here. So this is going to be the programming panel for the robot, and each one of these is one of the actuators, and I can go from the top to the bottom immediately, up fast or down fast, so large movements, or single steps. And having this all on a touchpad like an iPad or whatever was so much faster and easier. Having every actuator, I could just hit the buttons real quick and move the actuators into position. These readouts here that you see are going to show the position of that actuator. And my plan is later to get each actuator to a specific position for a note, and then we're going to record that position. And then we'll save that position as the note. And then we'll then later use that data to write some music with. If all goes well, we might have to make some adjustments in there, of course, but that is the current plan. But yeah, forgive me for recording a screen here. I'm actually going to do some legit screen recording later with you guys and go deeper into the software. We'll talk about what's going on more. But I just want to show you guys real quick what my plan was for the programming panel. Without further ado, let's see this thing move. I'm pretty happy with it. Given it isn't the top of the market stepper motors by any means, pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for watching episode 6. That was a lot of fun. Looking forward to episode 7. We're going to see the entire arm moving, all of the motions from both shoulders, And so looking forward to that. Stay tuned for episode 7. Thanks for watching 6. Take it easy, guys.